and we're just sort of like pacing in step. And I don't think Dr. Turtle needs any help. But and then I think Gray is like stepping in my footsteps, like okay, he stepped there, and so we sort of sneak up to this edge of the brush.
Yeah, awesome. And so as the four of you guys peek over the edge of a rock, you manage to find a large enough one that can conceal you and allow you to see. The image before you becomes very strikingly clear. What you see is a blur. Well, it's not a blur, but it is a bunch of beings moving extremely fast and a blur of bright, shining colors. At first, you think maybe it's people wearing armor, but then you realize what you're looking at is actually like silverish scales in varying shades. It is two groups, small groups. They're making quite a commotion for actually being only 6 of them in this clearing. But these two small groups are in the midst of battle with each other. Looking closely at the scaled beings, you can see that they have a lizard-like form with stocky legs. They can crawl easily on all fours and then attack up on 2. Some of them have bows and arrows. Some of them have larger swords or spears. And they're each locked in battle with each other. And you can actually see there's actually a couple of dead beings lying on the ground, or at least unconscious. And there's a lot of I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm not a huge gore person, but there is a little bit of blood and bruising that you can see happening. And at one point, 2 of them lock into sort of a headlock wrestling type of situation where they're just clawing at each other. And then the 2 of them just back up and slam against the rock that the 4 of you are behind, scaring the 4 of you back down into your hiding spot. What do you do?
It's definitely not Maya.
We should gracefully exit, my dudes.
Zuri's just kind of frozen by this because I think she had great hope that maybe this was leading to Maya, so she just doesn't know what to do. She's just kind of frozen in place.
I don't know. Maybe they know where Maya is.
At that moment, there is a sudden flurry of arrows that fly somehow in your direction. It's probably just some people that a bunch of people missed their shot at the same time. But you look up and you suddenly see this flurry of arrows coming towards you. What do you do?
From the inside of the clearing or from outside of the clearing?
From inside of the clearing. Somebody missed, a bunch of people got angry and missed it. But maybe, when you were looking, you could see a couple of people were shooting multiple arrows at once. So this flurry of arrows has just started flying towards you. What do you do?
Hit the deck.
Are these commoners?
Do we have any information on this battle and if we can help these people?
How about everybody give me a fate/memory roll?
Ooh.
I got another 19.
Okay.
I also got a 19.
Yeah, okay.
I got a 15.
All right, that is 3 successes.
And I got a 20.
What? Oh my goodness.
God. We're here to roll today.
We know everything about this.
So you would remember that these creatures are a lizard race called a Lacerti. They are sort of snake people-esque. They are born with built-in armor that is basically scales made of multiple different colors of metal. And they are universally known throughout the realm for being fierce warriors. I think you would each have possibly some kind of a memory of a creature of this nature in battle, whether it might have been in a fighting pit, on a battlefront, in an artistic depiction of a great fight. The Lacerti are a sentient race that kind of behaves like wolves. They're raised and fostered amongst packs, but they often will be recruited independently or go out on their own and be found in various places in cities being recruited for basically anything that would benefit from their bravery and courage and incredible strength that they are raised with. The individual packs themselves are somewhat notorious for fighting other clans of their race. So there's a lot of unrest among the Lacerti themselves. And the reason behind that isn't totally known. It's sort of a society outside of the mainstream. So the reason behind the Lacerti's sort of bloodthirst towards each other is sort of confusing and unknown. So yeah, that's what you would know about them. Dr. Turtle / Gareth, you had basically an epiphany. You have gotten a natural 20 on this roll, meaning that you have a triumph, which means you automatically succeed, and you may even find added fortune. So you know everything that the other 3 of them know, but you also know something else about them that you get to decide.
About these snake people.
Yeah.
These snake people, they don't like if you call out their lisp.
Magical.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can work with that. So basically, I think what that means is that because of the shape of the Lacerti's face and the location of their tongue in their mouth, they do have a slight lisp, which it's kind of unspoken of because they're such fierce warriors. It is not wise to draw attention to it. They are confident in their speech and their ability, and therefore if you try to say, if some jerk came up to them and made fun of their lisp, they would probably just beat them up. Like, imagine if you tried to tell a giant they were too tall. That giant would just stomp on you. That's kind of how these guys are. And I think right as you are kind of explaining this to the group, you hear from behind one of them cry out, a battle cry. "You will never stop us. Victory will be ours." And that's where we're going to end our episode. Thank you for listening to A Game Called Quest. A Game Called Quest is an actual play audio drama of the tabletop role-playing game Quest, created by T.C. Sodic. The podcast is a creative and collaborative project with lots of hard work from many people, including myself as the producer and editor, my co-editor, Sean, and all of the amazing actors, Manny, Sue, Brett, and Ben. You can find information about all of us and our social medias in the description box. We love sharing this podcast with you and are so glad that you're a part of our community. A Game Called Quest releases bi-weekly episodes on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a variety of others as well. For access to those links, as well as links to our social media, our Discord, and multiple ways to get involved in our community, you can follow our Linktree, which is linked in the description box, or follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Game Called Quest. We love getting to meet fans and getting to interact with you guys, so make yourselves known. Leave us a review on iTunes or just tweet at us what your favorite part of the episode was. We hope you enjoyed the Artist Spotlight this week. This was a choice that we made because we feel that a lot of times in the nerd tabletop gaming industry, there is a lack of representation of marginalized voices. So much of the mainstream nerd content that is available is primarily produced by cis white men, and even more by cis white people in general. So make sure to support and follow and fund the Artist Spotlight each week so that we can continue to diversify the gaming community and spread the nerdy love. That's all I've got for today, folks. Thank you so much for adventuring with us, and please don't forget to join us next time for A Game Called Quest.